Hello, friends. I am Tom Downey, and welcome into Chat Sports. You guys liked our Mel Kiper top 5 quarterback breakdown, plus some bonus guys that Kiper left out. So today, we're taking a look at the running backs. At number 1 for Mel Kiper, Travis Etienne. I very much agree with Kiper on this one in what could very be a top-heavy running back class for the 2021 NFL Draft. Etienne brings great speed, highly productive at Clemson. He could have gone pro for the 2020 NFL Draft. He was eligible. I would have had him as my number 1 back. I think he would have been in discussion for a lot of other people in that same area. The production is incredible, and it's not just volume. 56 career touchdowns on the ground, yes, is impressive. He's averaged over his college career at Clemson almost 8 yards per carry. He's been at 7.8. That's pretty absurd efficiency for a guy getting 200-plus carries each year. The touchdowns are awesome, and most importantly, Etienne took a very big step forward in the passing game this year. That is a big factor in the NFL. If you can only help on first and second downs and you can't catch passes or at least be a potential pass blocker, NFL teams aren't going to value that, at least the way you should be valued based on your running ability. I think that's why Jonathan Taylor was a little bit further than what his production and speed says he should. Now, had Etienne gone pro, I would have had him as my number 1 back. Should he have done so? Cast your votes. Y for yes and for no. From an NFL perspective, as a back, I think you should get pro as soon as possible. With that said, I'm never going to criticize a kid for going back to school because college is pretty darn fun. And that's exactly what Chubba Hubbard also did at Oklahoma State. I thought he could have gone pro, had that breakout awesome 2019 year. Frankly, even though he was 8th in the Heisman voting last year, I still think he was very overlooked as a back because he led the nation in rushing ahead of Jonathan Taylor. Still only 8th in the Heisman. He has caught 22-plus passes in both of his 2 years at Oklahoma State. I think that's important for Hubbard. Again, it's kind of a bit of a top-heavy running back class. There's a big 3, then a big decline, I think, after that. Hubbard's production merits him at least being in the discussion in terms of figuring out what that top 3 order looks like. 2,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, had over 300 carries, and still had almost 6.5 yards per carry. So great volume and solid efficiency as well. That's what you want, even though it is against Big 12 defenses. Now, if you guys want more 2021 NFL Draft videos, I need you to like this particular video. The bosses aren't quite convinced this is a great video strategy going forward. I want to keep talking about it, though. It's fun. Helps me get ahead on my work before the season actually begins. So if you want more, just do me a favor, simple like. That's all we have to do. Number 3, and some would have him at number 1, and I understand why. Najee Harris checks in here out of Alabama. Former top recruit, 5-star, great size. It's another giant Bama back who's got pretty good speed as well. He's the next drafted Alabama back, and he's even got a guy, Brian Robinson, I think it is, behind him who could also potentially be drafted. Most importantly for Harris this past year, got to be the featured back with Josh Jacobs heading off to the NFL. Could have gone pro after this most recent breakout year, but he was better in the passing game. Again, you need to be a 3-down back. 27 catches this past year. Not as great as others, but still pretty darn impressive. Now, Harris's efficiency isn't as good as Etienne's, and the volume isn't as impressive as Hubbard. So I think it's reasonable to rank Harris as the number 3 back, but all 3 of these kids are worthy of being the number 1 back taken in 2021. Of course, there's a whole season left to see how they end up playing. So pick a running back then. If you want to go with Travis Etienne, type A. If you want to go with Hubbard, type B. If you want to go with Najee Harris, type C. In fact, if you guys want to rank them in whatever order, A, B, C, CBA, whatever, feel free to do that as well in the comments section. Next up is Kenneth Gainwell. First off, awesome name for a back. Gainwell, that's perfect. Memphis has churned out very good prospects out of the backfield in recent years, and Gainwell is next up. Before last year, 4 career carries. That was it. And then he has this awesome, incredible breakout year, both on the ground and in the air. On the ground, 231 carries, 1,459 yards, 13 touchdowns, a very good 6.3 yards per carry. He had 50 catches as well through the air. That screams 3-down back. Now, he's only a redshirt sophomore, so he could stay at Memphis for another year if he wants to. I am curious how things will look for Memphis with the new coaching staff coming in, Mike Norvell leaving. Gainwell, maybe not the biggest guy, only 191 at 5'11", so could maybe add a little bit more weight. But he's shown 3-down back ability, and that pass-catching value will help him out in the NFL draft process. Now, hopefully, we get a full-fledged college football season in 2020. I hope everyone out there is staying safe. If you need some new masks, maybe you're just starting to, get a little bit old. Maybe they don't smell all that great. It's okay. Head over to chatsports.com/stay-safe. Now, these are a little bit backlit because so many of them have been bought by you guys so far. So get in line while you still can. It will take a little bit most likely, but you'd rather get in your order now than wait even longer to get your delivery. So shout out Fanatics there. 3 NFL face masks, by the way, under $25. That way you can rotate them, keep them all fresh. I'll put the link in the comments section as well, but it is chatsports.com/stay-safe. One more time, chatsports.com/stay-safe. Number 5 is C.J. Verdell out of Oregon. 2 years of very good production by Verdell. And most importantly, I like to see growth out of really any position. And I saw growth from Verdell last year in his efficiency. His yards per carry went up by 1.2 yards. Now, his receiving production dipped, but that's a little bit more inconsistent from year to year. So as long as I see some semblance of it, I'll be fine. I see 27 in 2018, only 14 this past year. Get him more involved in the passing game. What I am curious about with Verdell, who I do like as a prospect, there's a quarterback change now coming in Oregon, and probably some schemes that I think would be better for Oregon because I hated the scheme last year that they ran. But with Herbert gone, how does that impact Verdell? The running game, passing game, it's all interconnected in the end. Does a new quarterback reduce Verdell's efficiency? Does it make him, more volume? How does Oregon handle the new quarterback change? So I like Verdell quite a bit. I'm a big fan of the more yards on fewer carries. Always a good thing at the running back spot, but we'll see how he plays in 2020. So which running back or running backs did Mel Kiper disrespect? Because he only ranked 5 of them, which I get it. There's a lot to do there. But you could add, it was just a list of names. That's all he did for those 5. I have provided the analysis here. So how about some other prospects that in mind? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. We'll discuss some of them. 5 I want to mention, plus another 5 coming up, but 5 I want to spend a little bit more time on. Pooka Williams, great name, bad name, up for debate. Kennedy Brooks, Jaret Patterson, Kylan Hill, and then Journey Brown, who we'll save for last amongst this 5. We'll begin with Pooka Williams. Undersized, he's listed at 170. Dude's got to bulk up. That's not big enough in the NFL. The efficiency hasn't been great for Williams, but also he's playing on a bad Kansas team. Offers some value in the receiving game as well. That is a plus. His potential biggest red flag beyond his size had a 1-game suspension for domestic battery. That will have to be cleared because NFL teams are not going to take that type of risk with other equal prospects on the board. All right, Kennedy Brooks at Oklahoma. He's next up here. One big issue for Brooks is not that he's not a good runner. He's averaged 9 yards per carry in 2018, still 6.5 last year. Only 10 receptions in his 2 seasons. He has to become more involved in the passing game to be an early round draft pick. A sleeper here is Jaret Patterson at Buffalo. Yeah, been a while since we had a really good Buffalo prospect, and I'm not including Tyree Jackson in that discussion, based on him going undrafted. The production for Patterson was awesome. 300-plus carries, 6 or so yards per carry, a little bit under that. 19 touchdowns. Patterson's intriguing to me, and I think among the sleepers, he could end up being an option. But who is your favorite running back prospect in 2020? Of course, much will change. There's a whole bunch of players that we're not going to get to. But who is your favorite one? Mine, it's Travis Etienne. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. All right, Kylan Hill is next up here. Hill declared early for the NFL draft, then changed his mind and went back. Now, on the ground, maybe not the best efficiency, but he's been pretty productive against SEC defenses. His biggest red flag for me when I was watching was like, okay, I got to see more in the passing game. Guess what? The coaching change will help that. So we'll see how Hill fares in that brand new offense. But if he shows equal efficiency on the ground and offers some more pass catching value, that could help his draft stock. A very much under the radar player next up here, Journey Brown at Penn State. Now, there's a lot of projection involved here because he was a part-time back and only had like 130 carries, I think, last year. But his last 5 games, Brown, it clicked for him. 78 carries, 593 yards, 9 touchdowns, 7.6 yards per carry. That's crazy impressive. If Brown can do that for an entire season, he's going to vault up the draft boards from now to the actual NFL draft. If you have not already, do us a favor and subscribe. We want to keep doing 2021 NFL draft videos for you guys. We're doing backs right now. We already did quarterbacks. Well, that's on the channel. So hit that big red button and subscribe. Now, the running back class could be very deep because, every team uses one. There are a lot of guys that are draft eligible. Some other names I did want to briefly at least shout out who I think could ease in at being top 5 guys. How about Max Borghi at Washington State? Screams third down back, 88 catches last year. Demetric Felton, 55 catches and only 86 carries. I got to see more on the ground, though. Both Ohio State backs, Trey Sermon, Oklahoma to OSU transfer. Master Teague was pretty darn great behind J.K. Dobbins. I think you'll see a rotation there, which might hurt one or both of them in terms of their draft stock for this year. And then Zamari White, only 78 career carries, 2 receptions, so not a whole lot of track record in terms of production, but he's shown flashes. A former highly touted recruit, only a redshirt sophomore. It's his turn to be the guy for Georgia. Now, that was only 15 players. There are a lot more backs out there who are draft eligible. So if I disrespected somebody, or if I slept on somebody, or if you got a sleeper in mind, let me know in the comments section. Now, I'm not really sure why Kiper bothered to do it, but he did rank some fullbacks as well. At number 1 is Ben Mason. Mason Stoke out of Wisconsin, number 2. Jamari Peacock, great name, out of Virginia, number 3. Troy Carter from LSU, and Houston Amuli at number 5 from Stanford. I will be honest with you guys, I don't really watch a whole lot of fullbacks because it's fullbacks. They are a dying breed in the NFL, but Kiper was at least kind of nice to give us his top 5 options.